What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels, over here at the Millionaire Morning Show, and we are back in Detroit. Thank God we are back in Detroit. And one of the reasons why I say thank God I'm back in Detroit is because I am back in my studio, and there is no better place outside of my own bed that I enjoy more than being back in my studio, even live streaming from home. You know, I think the pandemic absolutely messed up a lot of things for a lot of people, including myself, because I was more enthusiastic about working from home, even from a corporate perspective, until the pandemic came. And don't get me wrong, I had an absolutely phenomenal time during the pandemic. We moved down to Florida for the winter. Life was good. I got to wear my hot dog suit out and about, participating in what was going on in society. Life was good. Everything was absolutely awesome. But it's almost like everything. When everybody has access to it, you really don't want to do it anymore. And so, you know, the opportunity to be able to get out and create my own space once the pandemic subsided was an absolutely phenomenal opportunity. But let's go ahead and get into the show. Shout out to my people that's in the chat. I appreciate you. Also, I want to give a shout out to Levite Apparel is in the building. Says, blessings to you, your business, and your family. And then 10 times back to you, my friend. Whatever it is that you guys wish to me, good or bad, I wish it 10 times back to you. Blessings to me, my family, and my business. I wish 10 times the amount of blessings back to you. And then anything on the negative side, I wish 10 times the amount back to you also. So shout out to you. I am very, very petty. So petty, in fact, to where I think that over the next coming months, you will probably hear some wrangling and ruffling here on YouTube for some things that I got planned. But more of that to come later. I'll probably talk about that a little bit on my Patreon. And I also have a video that's releasing today on Patreon. So shout out to all of the bag chasers. Maggie, the substitute teacher, is in the building, says, for hot dogs and hats, just here to support you. You guys are so awesome. Thank you to all of my bag chasers. Thank you to all of the people that continue to rock with me. I appreciate you, Maggie, the substitute teacher. Stanley says, congrats on 100 episodes, Anton. We got to catch up tomorrow, bro. Shout out to Stan. Stan is one of the Seat at the Table members. A lot of you guys are not familiar with the people that rock out at the Seat at the Table. Stan has been exceptional with his growth, transition, Stan, I met him in New York at the New York meetup. He is also a seat at the table member. Stan has transitioned into a real estate. I don't know if you can say mogul. I don't know if you can say what it is, but me and Stan has worked together for well over a year as a seat at the table. Actually, it's probably been a little bit close to 2 years. Wouldn't you say, Stan? Close to 2 years now? Stan has been at the seat at the table for a while, and Stan has a multi-unit property. He has a phenomenal relationship, soon to be marriage, doing exceptionally well as a civil engineer. And I am very, very honored to have Stan as one of the people that were the first of 50 seat at the table members. So Stan was one of the original 50. Very few people can actually say that they were one of the original 50, but Stan is one of the original 50, and he is doing so well and has added so much value to me as well as me to him that he has even taken on a position to where he has mentored other people that were looking to go into his field also. So he is one of the people that I consider a part of my network. He has my personal phone number. When I was coaching another young guy that was in his 20s, early 20s, and he's like, yo, I want to go down this path. Stan is one of the people that I referred him to in order to help mentor this young guy and guide him along the path to use his expertise as an engineer, specifically in his field, and give him some insight on what it is that he can look forward to and the pitfalls that he can avoid. So when we talking about a network, when we talking about the people that is going in the direction that you're going in, when we talking about bag chasers, we talking about some of the most awesome people on the face of this earth. Stan is one of them. I appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to rock with me, Stan. Thank you for the super chat also. You guys know I ask for nothing, but you guys see value in what it is that we talk about here on the Millionaire Morning Show, and so I have to show appreciation to anybody that contributes, cash apps, all of that. So thank you guys. One of my original 50 Patreon members and seat at the table members. And Stan, he's a good guy. I met him. I met his girl. We partied till late in the evening in New York. For those of you that were at the New York meetup last year, I am going to be in New York in July. So if you are a Patreon member and a bag chaser, make sure you tap into the Patreon and let me know whether or not you're going to be there so I can make accommodations accordingly. Q was there. Rita was there. All of my friends was there, and we shut it down, and we had a phenomenal time. Drinks, good times, good energy, great music. Y'all know what to expect at Patreon meetups. Y'all done been to like 10, 12 of them now at this point. So shout out to Stan. Shout out to my people. Shout out to everybody that's rocking out with me. Shout out to all of the bag chasers. And shout out to Teach Henley. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Make sure that y'all get that Teach pack. Even if you got the Teach pack, cancel that other shit and then come over here and get this Anton Daniels work, because our Teach pack is better than the rest of their Teach packs. Real talk. Shout out to Nice for everything. I appreciate you for the 2-ball. Supporting the platform. Absolutely awesome. You are absolutely the greatest audience on earth. I love you guys. I just genuinely love you guys. I love flying out to meet with you guys. I love having conversations with you in person. And I love the fact that you guys jump into the morning live stream every single day and get into it. But without further ado, let me get a little bit more housekeeping out of the way. Make sure y'all tap into the Charleston White Show, along with my dog Jay Will, Josh Adams, and Cookie. Myself will be there. I'll probably bring out some more friends. If you do not have your tickets to the June 9th show, the link is in the description. Make sure you get your tickets. It's going to be awesome. All right. What else we got? Upcoming Patreon exclusive investor series where you guys will be able to do your pitches and then get seed money. For those of you that are restreaming this or watching it live, we do have the recording of the previous pitches up in the Patreon so you can see what my criticisms were of people that made a pitch, because I did not invest in everybody's business, but I did send some wires out to some people in order to fund their businesses. So I am giving out seed money to the tune of at least $2,000 per person for you guys to be able to effectively vet out your idea and then get started. I do not want any stake in your business. This is my appreciation to you guys and to give you a little bit of a boost in order to get your businesses started so that you can lean on the principles that we talk inside of the Patreon and the videos, but you also may need a little bit of boost from Big Bro over here. So I got your back. I'm holding you down. That will probably come within the next couple of months. We're mining that out. We get in the budget. I'm talking to my tax strategist in order to ensure that I'm doing things correctly. So we got a lot of things coming, including an exclusive video today, and I'm dropping an exclusive video on Thursday. So I'm dropping 2 videos. I'm dropping an interview, and I'm dropping a exclusive video specifically talking about ensuring how you can get more customers for your business, because what's the point of starting a business and having the most phenomenal product if nobody actually knows about it, all right? So shout out to DJ Kane in the building and my Dallas family. Said bless up to you, my friend. 10 times back to you. I appreciate you. Let's get it, y'all. Y'all ready to get into the show? Before we get into the show, let me say this, y'all. There's kind of a theme with a lot of my shows, right? When you hear me say Divided, the name of the show is Divided. And thank you for the 100th episode of this year. So this is season 3, episode 100 this year. Every year I do I don't know, somewhere between 280 and 300 episodes of the Millionaire Morning Show. And this year is season 3. We're at episode 100. So this is our 100th episode. And there's always a theme. And that theme, a lot of times, shout out to you. I'm definitely going to be reading super chats throughout the show. That theme, a lot of times, is based off of what it is that I see happening in the streets, combined with what it is that I see happening in society. I had a conversation with my homie Trey Little. Trey Little has amassed a little bit over 1.5 million TikTok subscribers, and he's now transitioning those TikTok subscribers and his audience over into Instagram and then YouTube, right? And I see themes, and one of the things that I've seen happening on Memorial Day, and I actually posted it on my Instagram, I'm probably going to remove it after the show. I was driving around, me and Rita, and I was in the Porsche, and I was just kind of taking a break on Memorial Day because I had been working all day. You guys know I didn't miss at all. And we ran down 7 Mile. Now, anybody in Detroit know that there are some main streets. Even though the movie 8 Mile exists, there's some main streets in the city that are iconic. 8 Mile is not as iconic as 7 Mile, in my opinion, for people that live in the city. 8 Mile is the dividing line between moving outside of the city limits, starting to move into Southfield and Ferndale and all of those other cities. That's basically what they call Metro Detroit. Okay, Metro Detroit is the surrounding areas plus Detroit. So a lot of times people will say, if they're out of town and they're not necessarily from Detroit, they'll say, where you from? They'll say, oh, we from Detroit. What they really mean is Metro Detroit, because they're not really born and raised in a city. They never was in the city. They never lived in the city. But they're from Metro Detroit, meaning that the cosmopolitan area, the Metro Detroit area, that's what they reference. So 8 Mile has long been a representative as far as the dividing line between going further outside of Detroit versus coming into the city. My street, and where I was raised and born and raised on, was 2 blocks off of 8 Mile, between 7 Mile and 8 Mile, okay? I've even documented it on my channel as far as where it was that I was born and raised. I went back and seen my family home. And I even tried to buy it, in which the lady tried to gouge me, and now she's regretting it, but that's a whole nother conversation, right? I live 2 blocks off of 8 Mile, between 8 Mile and 7 Mile within Detroit, okay? 7 Mile is actually a more iconic city for the people that's in the city, born and raised. It's the spot that once you left Belle Isle, which is largely an island within the city downtown, that a lot of people would drive up and down, and it's like the spot. You know what I'm saying? East 7 Mile, West 7 Mile is the spot. And so after we left downtown and me and Rita was driving down 7 Mile, West 7 Mile, which is my spaces, I'm driving, and if anybody has seen my Instagram, I can't post it on YouTube, the wildest thing just popped up on the side of the road. It was a woman, a A woman, a grown woman, no socks, no shoes, no pants, no panties, no bra, no shirt, no nothing. Strolling down the street. If you guys want to go to my Instagram, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Walking down one of the busiest streets in the city. And at first, it was wild because this is not something that I've become used to because I've adapted and evolved and living in spaces where my daughter is never privy to seeing something like that, right? My daughter wasn't with me, thank God. And so my first inclination was to call the police. And that's what we did. Had Rita call the police. Wanted to make sure everything was cool. Obviously, everything wasn't cool. Pulled up, made sure I never touched her because Anton ain't trying to get me tooed out here. Had Rita recording me, pulling up. And I just begged her. I'm like, yo, I took the shirt off of my back. I had a black t-shirt on, but I had the black wife beater up under it. Took the t-shirt off my back, handed it to her, had tried to have a conversation with her. And I asked her, I said, yo, at least put the shirt on because now a crowd is starting to see her. And it's funny because we went up 7 Mile. We never seen her. Like she wasn't there. And then when we was coming back to actually go back down the freeway because we was looking at some specific areas that we wanted to possibly invest in, then she appeared. And so somebody had to drop her off. Like somebody had to stop at a corner, drop her off, dip on her, and then leave. And she just looked kind of like deranged out of her mind. And she wasn't like an old lady or anything like that, but she looked like she was about 30 years old, could have been 30, 28, 30 years old. Walking over glass, unaffected, just looked like she zoned out of her mind, right? And so Rita immediately gets sad, but it's a couple different things that went through my mind as I replayed this and as we had a conversation once we got home because the police never came. I had to get out of there, right? After about 20, 30 minutes, I said, what the fuck, right? And when she called the police again, she like, oh yeah, everybody is we're aware of it. Multiple different people called and stuff like that. But the police never came, which then informed me that that is not the area that I want to invest my money in as far as trying to fix the city up. So a couple different things went through my mind, right? Because there was a lot of people that was just looking, never pulled the phone out to call, never had any compassion whatsoever, didn't want to offer her a shirt. I actually talked to her. I said, hey, listen, I need you to put this shirt on. And she said, can you take me home? Now, I can't have a butt booty naked woman off the street in my car, okay? So I know y'all want to be good Samaritans. I know y'all want to be good people, but you also have to protect yourself first. First rule of Fight Club is protect yourself. Keep your dukes up. Don't get caught up slipping. Do not have a woman with a wide butt that's naked walking down the street. You don't know shit about her in the back of your car trying to be a good Samaritan and take her home. All right. So that's not my place. I was going to take my shirt off and hand it to her in order to give her to, try to cover her up a little bit. But do not put anybody inside your car. But then she said, where can you take me home? Obviously, I'm not going to take her home. I said, where do you stay? She said, Joy Road. Now, anybody knows that Joy Road is far as fuck as far as where it is that you're supposed to be, right? Joy Road. I'm like, I can't take you home, but I need you to just come off the main street and put this shirt on. She just waved me off like, forget all of that, and just kept on walking up the street. What world do we live in? Is this the United States of America? What world do we live in? I'm just curious. What environment or society, and again, the video is up on my Instagram story, but what world and environment do we live in to where, in hindsight, multiple different people never even really paid her no attention. They just came out their crib, looked, and just kept on looking. Very few people, except for a couple women, actually stopped to try to figure out what was going on and try to help her. 2. B, young boy couldn't have been any older than 14, 15 years old, just walked on past her. I said, hey, man, get on away from her. Go on. Because he's walking in the same direction of her and he trying to pass her up. I said, man, go across the street. Oh, man, I'll be all right. No, man, get away from that lady. 4, how does somebody, and this was probably the most concerning part about it. It's not the reactive aspect of things, but it's the reactionary things, right? Not the proactive things, or I'm sorry, not the reactionary things, but the proactive things. Whose loved one? Because she's somebody's sister, somebody's mother, somebody's daughter, somebody auntie, something. How do your loved ones get to the point to where they're actually walking down the street with no shoes on, no socks on, naked on a main thoroughway in a major city? What the hell? What could possibly happen? Did somebody do her dirty? Was she drugged up? So many questions, but I'm just amazed every single day, even at 41 years old, at the things that I see. That's something that you're not even going to see play out and not be addressed when we was over in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic, let alone here in the United States of America. It's getting bad out here, family. It's getting bad out here, family. When I say that you guys have to be very, very careful, protect yourselves. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. When I say you got to be very, very careful, protect yourselves, don't put yourself in a position to ever, do anything except for really, really lean into yourself. Yo, now is the best time to be selfish before you can be selfless. Now, the space, somebody said, how far was the space between where you were and when she asked you to take her home? 8 miles? 7, 8 miles? In a completely different direction? Protect yourself. It's over. It's over. It's over, y'all. There is no saving the black community because there is no black community. There is no saving the white community because there is no white community. There is no race war. It's a war between the haves, the have-nots, the sleep, and the woke. That's it. It's a class war, and it's a war against principalities. That's it. It's a haves, have-nots, and it's a spiritual understanding in those that are of the devil. That's really all it becomes. It's over. It is absolutely over. If you've learned anything over these past couple weeks, you know that white people are suffering, gnashing at the teeth. Black people are suffering. Asian people are sleeping out on the street. When I was over in LA and I was driving down Venice Beach, now you got to understand, we were staying in like a $5-6 million house. A lot of people see me live streaming over the weekend, or I tapped into Fight Club and stuff like that. I'm staying in a $5 million house, rooftops, all of that other type of stuff. You drive down the street. Now, it was cooler over in California than it was over here even in Detroit and Michigan. It's 80-something degrees out here, right? Or it's going to get up to 80-something degrees. But then over in Cali, it was over in the 50s and the 60s. Now, I see a man sleeping on the ground, foot up, and it's kind of like I got kind of a photographic memory, and I see this guy sleeping on the ground, and he's got his foot up, right? And so that was when we went to the house. Now, when we leave out to go to the airport the next day at 8 o'clock in the morning, he's in the exact same position. I mean, it looked like he never moved. Sleeping on the ground, cover was laid the exact same way. His body is laid the exact same way. Nothing changed. Immediately called the police. He looked like he was dead. He looked like he never moved. He never moved. Man, white man, laying on the ground on the side of a building, looked like he never moved. And it's a strong possibility that people just walked by and never paid him any attention because that's just the norm. He looked like he never moved from the time that we went to our Airbnb to the time that we left to go to the airport the next morning. He never moved positions. You can't get close enough to touch him. You got to protect yourself. You also don't want to get Me Too'd or sued or any kind of junk or putting your hands on people and everything like that. So now I got to make an informed decision and call the police at the same time. Try to stay there so that you don't miss your flight. We almost missed our flight just so we can wait till the people get there. And then I don't want to stick around long enough to actually find out whether or not he's dead once the police and the ambulance arrive. But nobody cares anymore. Everything is absolutely over. It's over, family. It's over. So if we don't take care of ourselves, we have nothing and nobody that is going to look out for us. So we got to separate ourselves from everybody in order to even protect what it is that we have today. We've divided. We've been more divided than we've ever been. And there is no solidarity. There is no community. There is no family. There is nothing outside of the family that you create for yourselves, because it's going to get worse before it get better. Hear me out. I think that the commercial real estate industry is going to suffer. I believe that personal real estate is going to suffer. I think that there's going to be a bigger divide than ever. I think that there's going to be a bigger divide during our next national election. Middle class is going away. Prices are going to continue to go up. More people are going to be homeless than ever before. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. And usually when you see things go down and it continues to devolve, people's ability to make the right decision for themselves also erode, which means that they're going to pick somebody based off of hope, which ultimately is going to be the worst thing for them, instead of picking people based off of what makes the most sense. That's why you see people in these different candidates, they're galvanizing and they're more radical than ever, left, right, and people are attracted to them because things are worse than they've ever been in our lifetime specifically. So I'm just letting y'all know it's over for most of the people. Protect yourself, family. Protect yourself. All right. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to get started with the show. Lolo is in the building, says, can you say guide to becoming software engineer? Can you provide the guide to becoming a software engineer? Is that what you're saying? The thing about software engineering is that it's a foundation, right? And so a lot of times you can become a back-end developer, front-end developer. Some people segment off into UX, but you want to look at it as a stepping stone, right? If you guys want me to talk about software engineering and the pathway to becoming a software engineer or anything like that, then let me know. I can talk about it even more in depth in the Patreon. But a lot of people are trying to take the shortcut and do a boot camp. I would say go to the community colleges first. That way you can get both your associate's degree and you can get your certificates also at the same time. But then in addition to that, you need to be doing the work, right? So you need to be going through, maybe even go to a Udemy course, YouTube University, looking at a lot of these tutorials, and you need to actually put your reps in. You need to put your 10,000 hours in re-engineering these applications and these sites based off of what you think look great, and then duplicate it in a way that you see fit, but also learning along the way. So you're going to start getting into a lot of the different sites. You're going to start aligning with different communities. I would also advise you join Facebook groups, because they have a lot of really good Facebook groups that help you continue to grow as far as what it is that you're putting together and help you solve for and guide you along the way. Another pathway that I took once I got out of community college, I got a job immediately, which is one of the reasons why I went and worked at the University of Michigan, because they then started to pay for, and they paid for me to go ahead and work towards my bachelor's degree. So my pathway to success was to take less money up front because my businesses was doing well, so that I can get the university to then pay for my bachelor's degree. That way I was able to graduate without any kind of debt. But I started off at community college, and then I transferred over into a major university after that community college in order to ensure that I go into a STEM field, but then I'm also preventing myself from having to suffer financially and then pay off for the next however many years and then have to beg Biden for student loan forgiveness. So that hopefully that answers your question and that gives you a little bit more insight. Aaron, Crazy Aaron, I'm going to call him Crazy Aaron. Somehow he thinks he's a sports guru. He said, the sports guru have spoken. I called it. It went Heat versus the Nuggets, and the Heat beat Boston in 7. All held the sport. Where's Aaron getting these retroactive takes from? When did Aaron ever in the beginning of the playoffs say any of this stuff? I don't believe him. But I also will tell you that I have a new sports show that I'm going to be launching soon. But I didn't want to say that out loud. But shout out to Aaron for being crazy. Crazy Aaron is in the building. Yep. Can you give software dev cloud engineer process? Oh, I got you. We could talk about that in the super chat. Make sure that y'all in the super chat inside of the Patreon. Make sure that you guys join the Patreon, but also jump into the Discord, which is the link to the Discord is in any of the most recent videos inside of the Patreon. All right. The biggest is I'm gonna read this too. The biggest says, why you let that white dude call you a bitch and Uncle Tom? You were hella nice and respectful historically of went in on black men and women for half of that. I've actually embarrassed him even more. And you got to take different strategies for different people. So on this channel, I had a guy call up. But I already was familiar with the fact that he was clout chasing, and that's the dude that we hit with the D's nuts. The other guy on the other channel, Paul, I absolutely embarrassed him, and I went off on him, and I told him how he was nothing or whatever like that. But the thing that y'all got to also understand is that what I'm trying to teach you is it's okay to be passionate, but it's not okay to be emotional. Black men have historically put themselves in positions where they react emotionally and then it turns into something physical, or it turns into you saying something that you're not supposed to say that's ultimately going to fuck up your bag. You don't want to do that. You also want to be strategic and you want to control your emotions. And it's not about pacifying a crowd. It's about getting the results. And so the results are, why would I fuck up a bag, or why would I go to jail in person? Because I've even had those interactions. Why would I go to jail in person instead of dealing with it intelligently? Because that's what they want you to do. They trying to bait you into hit them. They trying to bait you into beating them the fuck up. Ultimately, what I got them to do is show their addresses. They emphasize how they not paying no taxes, how they keep getting arrested. So why would I stoop down to poor people that don't have any power over me whatsoever instead of continuing to inflict on them the thing that they already suffering through? You take different strategies for different people, and I'm trying to teach people to think their way through the situation in order to make more informed decisions. It's okay to be passionate, but it's not okay to be stupid. So why did I let him? Because it just made him look bad. It didn't make me look bad. And so the minute that y'all start actually thinking and start making more informed decisions, you too can prevent yourself from going to jail, and you too can put people in a position where they embarrass themselves, because they certainly didn't embarrass me. All they did was make me more money because it created more content. So there's the answer to your question. Hopefully that satisfies you. Jacquel says, greetings and blessings, my brother. Shout out to the bag and light chasers. Looking forward to the meetup. Shout out to everybody that's going to be coming to the meetup in New York. Rocking out. And let's get it popping. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the show. The first thing that I want to share with y'all, because we are starting to go into election season, is Ron DeSantis. Now, the way in which Ron DeSantis is standing on what it is that he's going to be running on is basically defending conservative principles and destroying woke leftist culture. Make sure y'all get a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on y'all notifications. We going to get into the show. Next is Dr. Umar Johnson. Let's rock out, ladies and gentlemen. Reading super chats throughout the show.
His opponent, his chief opponent, Ron DeSantis, is kind of kicking off his tour, the Florida governor now, calling the Great American Comeback Tour. He'll start today in Iowa. In an interview yesterday on Fox, DeSantis was asked for the rationale for his campaign. Why is he running? Why should people look at him, take a vote for him over Donald Trump? Here's what he said.
Why is right now the time for Ron DeSantis to run for president?
Because everyone knows if I'm the nominee, I will beat Biden.
Well, hold on. Let me back up. It's somebody that says you don't have to go to college in order to learn how to code. Azrael says you don't have to go to college in order to learn how to code. Let me just address this really quickly. That is true. The difference is, how high do you want your ceiling to be? Okay? The problem with us, and the problem even with black people and black culture, is we always trying to hurry up and get in the door. You can teach yourself how to code, which is one of the reasons why I told you to immerse yourself and put your 10,000 hours in. The other side of it is, do you just want to be a person that get in the door and learn how to code? Do you want it to be as difficult to get into other companies and the barrier to entry to be that much higher? Also, once you get in, do you actually want to progress? Do you actually want to become a director? Do you want to become a vice president? Do you want to become a senior vice president? Right? Do you actually want to progress in corporate America to where you can really, really bust down those bags? And so the reason why I tell people to go to school is because it gives you more access and it gives you more options. It's not about learning how to code. Learning how to code is easy. That's not the problem. The problem is, where are the bags at? And so I don't want you to put a cap on your ceiling by just getting your foot in the door. It's not enough to just be an IT worker or a software engineer. You actually want to get a bag. And in order for you to really be able to beat those barrier to entry, right, when you start to apply for those other positions, or when you're in a position and you network yourself over into the top, human resources is going to require certain paperwork in order for you to get your foot in the door. You don't want to put yourself in a position to where you have to then retroactively try to catch up instead of put yourself in a position to actually be able to get those positions in the first place. So that's the reason why I tell y'all to go to school. It's not about just learning how to code. It's not about just getting money. It's about busting down bags. So everything you do, you're looking at it from a 10-year perspective. You're not looking at it based off of where you're at today. You're looking at it based off of where you're trying to go and what you're projecting yourself to be long term. Okay? So y'all got to unlock your mind and stop thinking short term and start thinking long term of what you want your future to be, because 10 years go by like that. And if you're in the same position that you was and got the same dreams and the same goals today as you do 10 years from now, then I failed you. All right, let's get into it. Let me rewind this a little bit, because, you know, when I interact with my chat, and that's one of the reasons why I love the Millionaire Morning Show. Let me rewind this just a little bit, all right?
Asked for the rationale for his campaign. Why is he running? Why should people look at him, take a vote for him over Donald Trump? Here's what he said.
Why is right now the time for Ron DeSantis to run for president?
Because everyone knows if I'm the nominee, I will beat Biden and I will serve 2 terms, and I will be able to destroy leftism in this country and leave woke ideology on the dustbin of history.
So there it is.
He said, I will destroy woke left ideology. His goal is to completely destroy woke left ideologies. For me, that is music to my ears. For me, that is music to my ears. I love it. Absolutely love it, because now we talking about principalities. Now we talking about agendas, and he's actually had a track record for it. Now, I'm not saying that he completely got my vote, because I want to see the debates. I want to be able to hear other people's perspectives. I want to hear Trump's perspective. I want to hear everybody, right? So I'm going to make an informed decision. But the fact that he wants to destroy left woke culture is phenomenal to me, because I think that we've been pushed too far down the left, all the way to the point to where they're trying to determine what it is that our kids are learning in school. Let's continue.
In a nutshell, Joe, he says he can beat Joe Biden, suggesting that Donald Trump can't. He'll serve 2 terms. Donald Trump can. He's already served 1. And then just on the issues, on this, you know, the shining city on a hill, the morning in America, it is defeat woke ideology.
I mean, Gene Robinson, we are so far from Ronald Reagan. You know, that America is a city shining brightly on the hill for all the world to see. You know, the last great, and a serious point here too, because, well, actually, let me play you this clip, because this is when I just started thinking. You know, we used to have a football coach that would say, You boys are majoring in minors.
Reading super chat shortly.
Focus on the big things. This is what Ron DeSantis is doing. He's majoring on the minors, on things that may get a small sliver of the population, but it's not like Reagan. Reagan would say things that maybe 50% of Americans agreed with, but he'd say it in a way that 90% of Americans would go, yeah, this guy's on to something. Reagan was always trying to reach out. It's maybe why he won 49 states and why Republicans under Donald Trump keep losing election. But Ron DeSantis, for some weird reason, I don't get it, seems to be following that path. And moments later in that interview, he was asked whether he could win Iowa. This is what he had to say.
We obviously have a lot in common with Iowa in terms of what Florida's done and what they've done under Governor Kim Reynolds. And I think the groundswell of support has been really, really strong. And, you know, we're going to press the case. I mean, you know, they had mentioned there may be some differences with me and Donald Trump. And I think that those differences redound to my benefit in a place like Iowa. I mean, for example, you know, he's taken the side of Disney in our fight down here in Florida. I'm standing for parents. I'm standing for children. And I think a multi-billion-dollar company that sexualizes children is not consistent with the values of Florida or the values of a place like Iowa.
Disney sexual. Ron DeSantis decides that.
Now, instead of obviously these pundits operating in truth, they want to still posture because, again, one of the things that I like to do, and I've been criticized for using a lot of Fox News clips in order to react to a lot of the different things that's being said within the national media. But the reality is that I like to use different clips from different platforms, including CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. This so happens to be MSNBC Morning Joe. And they're saying that Disney doesn't do this, but when you actually go into and see a lot of these movies specifically geared towards younger people, what exactly are they trying to do? If you've watched any of the you can go and watch the latest Thor, and there's so much of an agenda inside of these movies that's being put in the movie. It's funny because I was talking to somebody over in LA over the weekend, and they said that, yo, my friend got a movie that they shooting, and they actually pretty right. You know, they're pretty conservative. And they said, but one of the requirements, I didn't say it, my friend actually said it, but she said one of the requirements for him to even be able to film a movie or get funding from his movie from Hollywood was that he had to have a certain gender of people that starts with a T, or a certain amount of these people in his movie in order for him to get funding. Let me say that one more time. In order for this man who considers himself to be way right to get funding to shoot a movie that has nothing to do with political affiliations or which side of the aisle you're on, one of the requirements that he confided in her that they were requiring for him to have was for him to put somebody from the alphabet community, specifically that starts with a T, multiple different people inside of his movie. Now, whether you guys were able to recognize whether those people were in the movie based off of the different scenes or whatever, so on and so forth, that's a completely different conversation. But when we talk about agendas, they're real. They're there. You know why? Because we're human. And when we're human, that means that we're biased. Every last person that's watching this live stream right now, including myself, we're biased. We're biased with regard to our experiences and how it is that we project them on other people. Now, whether we're right or wrong, that could be debated. And one of the beautiful things that used to be a part of this country was that we had the freedom to say what we really thought without the repercussions that come along with it negatively, as long as we didn't actually inflict anything against somebody physically. But that is gone now, and that is what we now define as a part of woke left culture, pushing an agenda on somebody that they don't want and then punishing them when they speak up about it. But let's continue. Let's see what they got to say.
That he's going to launch his campaign by talking about how the Magic Kingdom sexualizes children. This is something that, again, we've all grown up with Disney. You and I, Gene, when we were young, would see the wonderful world of Disney every Sunday night. It's continued through. And
I'll be reading Super Chat shortly. I see y'all.
And, you know, it's not like things got crazy. My kids growing up, you know, I've seen The Lion King like 87 times. Like, and
Not in The Lion King. It's not in The Lion King. This is a disingenuous argument. This is a disingenuous argument. It's not in The Lion King, but it's in all of your most recent Marvel movies. I haven't seen The Little Mermaid, but who knows? It might be in that too.
And The Little Mermaid and all of these other shows, it hasn't radically changed or shifted. What's happened is, for some reason, this has become this weird sort of cottage industry deal. And I guess maybe people get ratings doing this. Maybe they make money. Maybe people listen to their podcast by bashing Disney. But I can tell you, as somebody that knows a little bit about Florida, this doesn't even sell in Florida. I mean, Disney is loved, but this
Joe, he got married there.
He got married there.
It's a happy place.
Do you see this? And when you don't take a position while also seeing this stuff play out on a regular basis, look, what is that chick's name that was just in a Disney movie? Margaret Cho? Was that her name? Margaret Cho? She was the Asian lady that played a gay character inside of a Disney movie. She said that she's advocating for and would love to see Disney put more T people inside of these alphabet community movies. Are they posturing? And this is the question that I have to ask you guys, honestly. Because as a person that considers myself conservative, I'm not way right. I'm not an extreme conservative. Meaning that there's things that I don't even agree with that people that call themselves Republicans or conservatives say. There's plenty that I disagree with, right? But if you so woke and you're so liberal to where you can't actually be honest about what it is that's happening in society, and you can't call it out for exactly what it is, that's a problem. That is a problem. If we're going to sit here and ignore the idea that this is exactly what Disney is doing, and every other major Hollywood studio also, because if it wasn't, then they wouldn't have any objection to what Ron DeSantis is actually trying to limit their ability to put inside of their schools and implement within their district. Why is it such an issue? Why are they fighting so feverishly for it? That has nothing to do with entertainment, but it absolutely is something that they're trying to implement, and I can't understand why. Why are they willing to spend money on it? Why is it such a issue? Why do we need additional representation inside of these movies outside of what the influence of or the impact of what it would have on the people that watch it? Why are we so desensitized? Have y'all realized that? Have you thought about the idea that all of the violent movies that we've seen throughout our history and our lives affect how it is that we see society? It was nothing for most of those people to see that woman was walking down the street naked with no clothes on, because that's just normal. You know why? Because they've seen it on social media, even if they haven't seen it in real life. They haven't limited what it is that they're taking in their eyes, so it's not nothing out of the norm. Have y'all noticed that? It's nothing for them to say Black Twitter will cancel you. Even to the point to where we've become keenly aware of what we can and can't say on these platforms. Nothing for them to say that. Do you know how many people, and I'm going to actually put the link to this hoodie in all of the videos that I wore it in, hopefully by the end of the day for y'all to actually be able to buy this. Do you know how many people actually see me wear this hoodie and they say, it was a guy in the airport. He was flying in from Nashville, and we was coming in from Los Angeles, and it was about 6 p.m. in the afternoon on a Sunday, and he said, "You're right." And I was like, "Oh, you right about what?" He said, "Your shirt." He said, "You're right, but it's not a popular take." That's what he said to me. He said, "You're right, but it's not a popular take." It's so many people that go out of their way to compliment me on what it is that this shirt says or this hoodie says, because they understand what's happening in society and how people are trying to condition you to look at things a certain type of way. Reading Super Chat shortly.
The happiest place on earth, I think, is what all those quarterbacks from Super Bowl say. It just, again, Gene, my bigger point is this. They emphasize these really small things that gin up a small part of the base, instead of being like Reagan, looking over the horizon and saying, how do I unite Americans and in the process win 49 states?
Yeah, it is incredible. I mean, Joe, you and I, we both spent a lot of time in Iowa. We both know that, you're walking down the street and you ask voters, what's on your mind? What are you thinking, Republican voters? And they say, that Disney. I hate Disney. I wish somebody would go after Disney. I mean, it's just ridiculous. No. It's ridiculous. This is the centerpiece of, I can't believe that he mentions that as part of his argument why he should be the Republican.
Because it's meaningful. And this is how disconnected, broken, and disingenuous the people of yesteryear have made us. Because it's meaningful. It's meaningful to me. It's not something that we should just gloss over. It's meaningful because my daughter have to use the same bathrooms as the people that then say that they identify as something specifically. Right? We had a person that almost tried to identify as something differently in order to compete with my 15-year-old daughter in a taekwondo kind of tournament that she wound up winning over the last weekend, and she won gold. It's meaningful. If I would have seen a boy join into, regardless of whether or not I thought my daughter can beat him or not, if I would have seen a biological male join into the competition in which my daughter is competing in, that would have been an issue. I would have pulled her out. I would have never. Now, my daughter is fierce, so she like, yo, I know I can beat this person. But I ain't stupid. That's why she got a father. That's why she got a father. I would have pulled my daughter out immediately. Immediately. And that is an issue. It's an issue. It's an issue when my daughter can't go to the public bathroom and not see a dude, depending on where it is that you are in America, say, I identify as this, and then pull his cock out. That's an issue. It's an issue when we have to pick and choose which schools our kids can go to because they're teaching an agenda, and then these colleges become indoctrination camps. That's an issue. It's an issue even beyond the alphabet community when we talk about the over-sexualization and also feminist culture, which is also woke culture. Because when you talk about sexual liberation, you're talking about something that completely goes against the traditional values. Why is this such an issue? Because some people will then say, well, teach your kids to do better. You can, but their experiences also help mold how they see the world. So when they're at school for 8 hours a day, you can't sit here and tell me that they're not being impressed upon based off of the environment that you subject them to. And so it's meaningful to us. It's meaningful to us that we start to right our wrongs and we stop going down this hell and fury path that ultimately is going to continue to destroy our woke culture. Is the very thing that destroyed households and families and enabled people and feminism to continue to go in its multiple different ways that absolutely positively ruined the fabric of society and American culture itself. But listen to them talk.
Republican nominee, let alone president of the United States. Again, I don't. This is Ahab-like. This pursuit of Disney. It can't be a really winning issue for him, I think. But all he's got apparently is I'm against woke ideology, and that's gonna touch a chord among the base, among the hardcore base. But boy, that is a tough sell if you want to be president of the United States.
Well, obviously, I completely disagree with him. I cannot disagree with him any more than I already do disagree with him. I think that we need to get these geezers out of office because they're one of the very reasons why we're in this position in the first place. And I absolutely love DeSantis. I know a lot of people have their criticism of him, but I don't see anything that he's done wrong. I think that he absolutely run Florida better than any state during the pandemic, better than any state. Big Podcast says, if you mad and broke, then you 0 for 2. If you mad and you broke, you 0 for 2. You're going to get the bag and you're going to be emotional. Shout out to Paul. Shout out to Paul. You guys have given me some really, really great content lately. Mr. Hillel says, what is woke? These clowns don't even know what this is, just like they don't know what real CRT is. His track record is garbage juice. Interesting. You guys got some very strong opinions. I can't wait till election season ramp up so I can really, really start to trigger y'all. Sam Saylor says, you are what a black conservative with balls sound like. Most people haven't heard this. Most people don't want to talk about it because they're so immersed in the BS. Figure Shit Out says, for these media guys to act like they don't know what sexualization we're talking about says all we need to hear. They not only know, they participate. I said what I said. I think you are 1,000% accurate. I stand with this right here. Marcus X says, Biden threatening sanctions on Uganda over the LGB law. Ain't that what Kamala Harris was flying overseas in order to advocate for? Neither here nor there. Make sure y'all hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. If you have not already, make sure you get your Teach Pack, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Also, in addition to this, make sure that you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. 2 videos dropping over the next 2 days. Absolutely phenomenal. Actually, over the next 3 days. So today and then 2 days from then. All right? Let's get into the show. Let's get into the thick of things. Umar Johnson talks about Bronny and his white women. Bronny and his white women. Before we even get into this, let me ask y'all a question. What do you guys think about the idea that, let me pull this up again. What do you guys think about the idea that it seems as though a lot of people are starting to insert their opinion on kids nowadays? It seems as though a lot of DJ Envy, Rick Ross, they've been going back and forth about spouses and kids when it was supposed to be about the car show. Umar Johnson, this is not his first time talking specifically about what it is that he thinks that LeBron James is supposed to do with his family. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about content creators, pundits, public figures having their opinion specifically about the children? Now, I don't necessarily have any problem with it per se. I really have more of a problem with the parent. So his criticism being levied at the parent is kind of a tricky thing, right? Because then I would be being a hypocrite because I have something to say about how it is that I see Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union is advocating for and trying to get that alphabet community bag based off of how it is that they're raising their kids, right? So I can't say that once you start making your kid a public figure, then that's a tricky thing to do. Because Bronny is Bronny 18, 19? Right? I am going to have criticisms levied towards Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union based off of how it is that they present their kid in the public. So would it be hypocritical for me to then say that Umar Johnson shouldn't have criticism towards how LeBron James is raising his kid? Whether I agree with him or not, let's have a conversation. Hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. I want to hear what Dr. Umar Johnson got to say. Thank you guys for sending me this video.
What's going on with Bronny James? What's going on with young Bronny James? He been bunny hopping again? They said Bronny James been bunny hopping again, brothers and sisters.
I think that Dr. Umar Johnson, I say this every single time, that Dr. Umar Johnson is quite possibly a comedian in his past lifetime. He is one of the funniest guys on YouTube, man.
They said Bronny James. I blame LeBron for that. That's LeBron James's fault. That's all LeBron James. He made it comfortable for that boy to run around with them white girls. That's all LeBron James. Would you sleep with a white woman for $1 million? I would not.
I don't believe it. Question in the chat. Maybe I need to put up a poll. Do you think that Dr. Umar Johnson would sleep with a white woman for $1 million? Tax-free. Tax-free. Do y'all think that the good doctor would sleep with a white woman, a snow bunny as he likes to call him, for $1 million? Think about it. Possibility for you to be able to pour into the community and fix your schools. Would doctor get a bad white woman for $1 million? Let's continue.
I used to have white girlfriends, but now I could never go back. My current girlfriend is Mexican. You need to be blocked. You are a dusty ninja. You went from a snow bunny to a yellow bunny. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. I heard the Celtics is down 0-3. I heard the Lakers is down 0-3. Miami, the 8th seed, Jimmy Buckets, is up 3-0. I think
Aaron said he would do it for a pack of cigarettes.
I think the whole thing is set up. Jamal Murray got a bunny?
Oh, Jesus.
Jamal Murray got a bunny? For real? I like Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray got a snow bunny? Damn. Please tell me Jimmy Buckets ain't got no snow bunny. Please tell me.
Wasn't Jimmy Butler raised by a white mother or something like that? Just curious. Let me let him rock out.
Jimmy Buckets don't have a snow bunny. Can somebody please confirm that Jimmy Buckets does not have a snow bunny? Please, brothers and sisters. Please, brothers and sisters. Can somebody confirm whether or not Jimmy Buckets, if Jimmy Buckets got a snow bunny, I quit. If Jimmy Buckets got a snow bunny, I quit. I don't believe that.
Shout out to Aaron with the super chat. I'll be reading that shortly.
Don't say that. Please don't say that. I hope Jimmy Buckets. What about Bam Adebayo? Bam Adebayo, is he bunny hopping?
Oh, Jesus. What the hell is happening right there? Y'all, we don't know who these people is talking to. And what if he loved them? What if that's his agent? What if that's a person that he grew up with? I don't understand what the problem is. I am genuine, and maybe y'all can explain it to me. I know some of y'all have grown up in racist households where your black father and your black mother said, don't ever bring a white girl in here. I know that there's a lot of people that grew up in environments where it was absolutely against code for you ever to talk to anybody other than a black girl. Even if that black woman is possibly going to humiliate you, take half of your stuff, make sure you go ahead and get that most ghetto black girl that you can possibly find. Why do people have such a problem with somebody else who actually want to rock with you versus the people that don't really care nothing about you? Why should I have to beg to be with somebody that ain't really checking for me? Because we've all seen on this show specifically how black women on a regular basis say that I want the thing that I can't even have. I want the thing that is not even best for me. I want the dude that's a thug in a suit. We see women say that I'm not checking for the nerd. I'm not checking for this dude. I'm not checking for that dude. We see that happen. Okay, so if guys go where they celebrate it and not necessarily where they tolerate it, I'm trying to understand. Because, listen, if that be the case, if it's so plentiful out here, and I'm just being honest, if it's so plentiful out here as far as the options and the opportunities for guys to then be able to roll with the women that's best for them. Thank you, Slim Tebow. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. Then how come Umar Johnson is not married? Allegedly, he has children with black women out of wedlock that he's not with. Now, if y'all telling me that that's good for the community and that's good for the black people, broken households, baby mamas are good for the community, then please, by all means, help me to understand it, and hold me accountable. But if he is operating in a space to where he has a broken family, or he's been in a situation where his family is broken and he's not married, then how is it that he can advocate for somebody else to be something that he's not living?
I don't believe that. I don't believe Jimmy Bucket's got a snow bunny. I don't believe that. I cannot. I have to see that. I would have to see that to believe that. Nah, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. What about Marcus Smart? I know Jaylen Brown ain't got no bunny. Jaylen Brown seemed like he pretty conscious. I don't think Jaylen Brown got no bunny. Marcus Smart, he not bunny hopping, is he?
Yo, what does what you do on the court have to do with who it is that you date? Hello?
Is Marcus Smart bunny hopping? I don't think so. I'd be shocked if Jaylen Brown, because Jaylen Brown got some consciousness. Tyler Hero got a black queen? Does Tyler Hero really got a black queen? Marcus Smart got a Latina? Is she Afro-Latina or anti-African Latina? Marcus Smart is not with a white woman. She's black. Thank you, broke-ass Negro, for clearing that up. Shout out to the broke-ass Negro. I don't know why you call yourself that. Tyler Hero got a Latina. Marcus' fiance is mixed. Mixed race African? I'll tolerate that.
Jesus.
I'll tolerate the mixed race African. Ain't nothing wrong with that. They family. Oh, he got a white Latina. Tyler Hero is with a black girl. They said he's with a Latino. Make up your mind. Is she a black Latino? Jaylen Brown wife Kimberly is white. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I do not believe Jaylen Brown got a white woman. No, no way. Jaylen Brown does not have a bunny. It's no way Jaylen Brown got a bunny. No way. Jaylen Brown and Jimmy Buckets, I would have to see it to believe it. We're not talking about men. We're talking about the black family, sister.
What black family? What black family? How can we talk about the black family without first having a black family? Let me ask y'all a question. If I'm a pastor, or your favorite pastor is on the pulpit and they're advocating against children out of wedlock, and then they go and they have a child out of wedlock, do you still value them and see them the same way? If you have somebody that's on the pulpit and they're advocating against the alphabet community, and then you find out that they actually slept with somebody in the alphabet community, do you value them the same way? How do we not extend that same level of criticism across the board, or does it only apply to people that's on the pulpit? It doesn't apply to the wokety wokes and the blackety blacks? It doesn't apply to the white people? Huh? Who does it apply to and who does? How do we then hold people accountable for things that we don't do? I can't tell you to do it if I'm not doing it. How can I talk about black family when I haven't built one? Why do black women, for example, let me give you a third example. Why do black women, when I hold women accountable about breaking up their households and marriage and all of this other type of stuff, why do they get so triggered? Why do you think they get so triggered? Because they have no ammunition against me. See, you can't say that I'm not living what it is that I do, because I am successfully married. I've never broken up my household. I don't have any children out of wedlock. I am a phenomenal father to my black daughter. I would say that when you really look at it based off of actions, because I believe that actions is actually 95% of body language is, or body language is 95% of communication, and the other 5 to 10% of it is actually the things that you say. So it's really what you do. Who's really for black culture? Is it the person that talks about it on a platform, or is it the person that actually lives it? Keep money within the community, spend money within their community, raise a smart black daughter that ultimately will be submissive to her husband, and also make sure that I don't create children out of wedlock and baby mamas? Or is it the people that just talk about it? Because anybody can say anything, but very few people actually live it. Where are the receipts? That's why women get so bothered a lot of times when I hold them accountable, because it's hard to say that I don't have your best interests at heart when I actually live it, and I pour everything that I have into the people that I value the most, which is my wife and my daughter. The biggest people, the ones that criticize the most, the ones that have most to say about me and my wife specifically, are the people that's supposed to be the most woke and the blackity black. So if you're advocating for it, but then I'm living it, how do you then have criticism against the people that's the biggest ones that's living it? LeBron James is married successfully, 10 times over more successfully from a relationship perspective than Umar Johnson or any other person that's a visible celebrity. Married his high school sweetheart. Raising 2 sons and a daughter. We can have criticism about a lot of the things LeBron James do on the court. We can have criticism about a lot of the things that he stands for as far as the way that he votes or who it is that he stands behind as far as endorses. But the one thing you can't say is that he's not living it. And that's the difference. But we value what people say over what it is that they do. And that's why the communities are so messed up. Let's continue.
It's all about the black family. We talk about everybody. We're going to talk about you. Why you ain't wearing your natural hair yet?
There we go.
Why are black women still imitating white women? Let's talk about that. When are black women going to go through a hair care revolution? I'm talking to black women right now. I'm talking about the planet Earth. When are African women going to have a hair care revolution where all of y'all go natural? See, I can tolerate the weave and the perm if y'all give me an expiration date. If y'all say, Dr. Umar, we're going to weave and perm it up for 10 more years, I can survive that. I'm going to tolerate that. But if you can't give me no expiration date, if you're going to weave and perm and wig it up and blonde hair it up for eternity, I'm not tolerating that.
What relevance does this have? I'm just curious. What relevance does this have?
So I'm asking my sisters right now, when are you all going to go natural as a movement, as a sisterhood, as the queendom? When are you going natural?
The minute that they all want to be single and then absolutely be dissed by the dudes that they trying to make themselves available for, because let's be honest, it is a competition. And I don't give a fuck what none of these dudes say, what they saying in the chat, what they saying online, and what they saying on these panels. Guys, don't go for these earthy chicks. Can I just be honest with y'all? Guys, do not go for earthy women. You take your fucking chakras, your Aquarius calendars, your no shoe wearing, black soap rocking, no deodorant having self, and go that way. I'ma just be honest with you. Dudes, do we want to have a real conversation? Or no, y'all want to wait till Wednesday? Y'all want to wait till Wednesday night where we go in on this? Because I plan on addressing the whole natural thing going forward. Keep on squeezing juices and berries in your coochie, and without a wash rag and some soap, talking about it's got chemicals in it. So did that jizz that he let off inside of you, but you ain't trip off of what he was eating. Guys, do not go for the earthy chick. Now, I know y'all talk about his levels to natural, and we can get into that, but I'm just telling you, guys, do not go for the earthy chick. Okay. Well, if they do, then how come all of these chicks with BBLs is getting chose? I'm not a fan of BBLs. I absolutely hate them. We can talk about it. We'll talk about it on Wednesday.
Not part-time, not quarter-time, not halfway, 100%. When are y'all going to go natural, sisters? Talking about protective hair covering. Yeah, it's protecting you from your low self-esteem. That's the only hair it's protect. I'm protecting my hair. I wear the wig to protect my hair. I wear the weave to protect my hair.
I do hear that a lot. I do hear women say that I wear this to protect my hair. I don't know how true that is. I'm not a cosmopolitist or whatever the fuck y'all want to call them or whatever. I'm not a hair doer, so I don't know what protects or what doesn't. So I do hear women say a lot of that though.
Protecting your low self-esteem. That's why you got the weave on. Who you think you fooling? Stop playing games with me. We need our black men to love it. I agree.
Hey, somebody time out Jabari Davis in the chat. Don't block him, just time him out. He'll know why. Let him think about his actions for 5 minutes before he decides that he wants to continue to participate. Because, sir, you did subscribe so that you can be able to say whatever it is that you want to say from a comment perspective. So we're going to hold you accountable. Moderators, deal with Jabari Davis accordingly. Now there's no existence that your comment ever even came up. Happy now? Make sure you stay subscribed. Hit a like for the YouTube algorithm.
I agree. Black men have to start affirming natural hair. If we required it, all of y'all would be natural. The black man is complicit in the black woman's self-hatred because we don't make you feel comfortable or beautiful in your natural hair. I said the black man is guilty of not making the black woman feel comfortable and beautiful in her natural hair.
Now it's our fault. Somehow, some way, it always comes back to the black man. Even when you're holding women accountable for their own decisions and their own actions, they grown adults, it always comes back down to the black man. You don't see guys as nerds sitting here holding women accountable for not picking them. I told a dude yesterday, I said, I told my dog Trey Little, I said, no, stay lame, bro. If they telling you that you lame, you stay lame because you winning and they ain't. That way you able to more effectively weed out the people that ain't rocking with you. You ain't supposed to be for everybody. You're supposed to be for that one person that you align with. So how did it then become men's fault again? I digress.
Here. So yes, we are guilty. We are accomplices to the crime of black female self-hatred, brothers and sisters. What should you do if your son or daughter wants a white partner? Put him out the house.
So let me ask y'all a question. How old is Dr. Umar Johnson? How old is Dr. Umar Johnson? Somebody in the chat tell me how old Dr. Umar Johnson is, and then I got a question.
Put them out. Put their asses out. That's all you got to do. Put them out. No, my daughter could not come into my house with the snow puppy. It would not be allowed. She can come in my house, but she's not bringing an enslaver in my dwelling. No, I don't care.
Dr. Umar Johnson is wild. All right, somebody said 48. Almost 50. Let me ask y'all a question. Genuine question. As you look at Dr. Umar Johnson on the screen right now, as you look at him and you stare at him right now, is it a possibility or no that at 48/50, almost 50 years old, that Dr. Umar Johnson has zero gray hairs in his head or his beard? He may not. He may just be naturally black without a gray hair on his chinny chin chin. Question. Is it a possibility that Dr. Umar Johnson is 100% naturally all blackety black with his hair and his beard without any kind of dye whatsoever? Just a question. I'll wait. Because I'm going to just tell you, I'm about to get my beard dyed. Hopefully, I can get my barber, traveling barber, and he can make sure that I'm taken care of. He can come and make sure I'm trimmed up. I'm going to have 0 gray in my beard, but hopefully by the time y'all see me tomorrow. I'm going to have 0 gray in my beard by the time y'all see me tomorrow. So, if he's actually advocating for women to be 100% natural, then that would mean that he would have to also be 100% natural, right? Because you can't sit here and hold other people accountable for not advocating for or making somebody else feel beautiful if you also putting that dye in your beard. No? Okay, let's continue.
Could not go
Bella.
to the wedding.
Thank you, Bella.
And he would not be allowed in my house. I'm just telling you my rules. No child of mine is bringing a member of the oppressor race to my dinner table, and I'm not going to the wedding. I know that's harsh for you because you're not unapologetically African. You are not a race-first renegade. You are not a revolutionary Pan-African nationalist.
AKA, you're not broke. You don't completely live under a rock. You're not out here washing yourself with tea leaves and barley. And you're not running through the field smelling like a puppy when you get inside of the house. Okay? This is what being broke, nationalist, all of this other type of stuff, right? I call this race hustling. This is called race hustling. And what you have to understand is that in race hustling, most of the people that advocate the most or the people that tell you that you should be one way, they broke. And it happens on both sides. I just demonstrated it for you over the last week with white people. The biggest revolutionaries are usually the ones that's the most oppressed in their minds. Every last white person that jumped up to hold me accountable about how it is that they felt about me were A, either living in their cars, B, living with their parents, or C, broke AF. It happens in both sides. The biggest revolutionaries are always the ones that are the most in distress. They up here sitting about they ain't paid their taxes and they getting pulled over by the police, but they over here having conversations online on how it is we need to live our life, talking about being godly. Fam, you need to worry about getting out of your car and getting proper tags, registration, license, and insurance. You have no time to be sitting here holding me accountable online. No time to sit here holding me accountable online. And so, let me continue. Let's hear what he got to say.
I'm not going to no damn snow puppy wedding and ain't no puppies eating at my damn table. Are you going to let Suki the goat do what? Me and Sister Suki, we good. We good. Stop worrying about Sister Suki. Well, my brothers and sisters, who play tonight? Is tonight game 4 Lakers and nothing, or it said they won the bubble ring? Paul was gossip. Will not help LeBron James win another ring. All you got to do is watch him. He'll play good one game.
I don't care about
the
that.
all-time scoring title. His contract up. When is LeBron's contract up? I got a funny feeling he want to go back to Cleveland because wrong with the Celtics. Oh, Bunny, you will never catch me with a bunny. You won't catch me with a bunny in Europe. You won't catch me in a bunny in Australia. You won't catch me with a bunny in Canada. You won't catch me with a bunny in America. You damn sure won't catch me with a bunny on African soil. If you catch me with a bunny on African soil, I need to be whipped 20,000 lashes. You will never catch me with a bunny. What's wrong with white girls? After 400 years, if I need to answer that, we have a problem, my brother. After 400 years, if I need to answer what's wrong with the bunny, we have a problem. The fact you asking me that shit after 400 years of dealing with these damn barbarians. If
Jesus.
you want some barbarian coochie, be my guest.
This
if
is
you
wild.
that thirsty that you need some barbarian coochie, go get you.
Extraordinary brother. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly, but he said, Mr. Daniels, did you just say that black men do not want earthy women? Yeah, that's what I said. I said it. Listen, if I'm wrong, tell me that I'm wrong. Somebody tell me that I'm wrong in the chat and tell me that y'all fucking on earthy women. Let me know. I'm curious.
Some barbarian coochie, and I hope she got some razor blades in that shit. I hope she got some knives and wood sticks. I hope she got some alcohol and COVID in that barbarian coochie. Since you so thirsty for uncooked flesh, I hope she got some damn razor blades in there.
Oh my
Cut
Jesus.
your little Johnson. Cut your extra small Johnson into little teeny mini bites.
Jesus. I didn't know Umar Johnson was this savage. I didn't know Umar Johnson had it in him to go all the way in on the people in the chat. Okay.
In fact, that's your name, Mini Bite. Mini Bite with the cave coochie. There you go. Mini Bite with the cave coochie.
Oh.
Brothers and sisters, after 400 years, brothers and sisters, after 500 years, some questions we shouldn't be answering no more. After 500 years, some questions we shouldn't be asking no more. After 500 years, it's questions we shouldn't be answering no more. Don't worry, my brother, I'm sleeping alone tonight. See, I don't come to Africa looking for cookies. I've never had cookies on African soil. I've never had cookies on African soil. I never had cookies on Caribbean soil.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can fast forward.
I'm just being transparent. At South American be looking to smash. Don't worry about that. There's always queens in that. And you know what? And once you get this King Kongalicious, once Corinne Pierre get this King Kongalicious.
Jesus.
Once Corinne Pierre get this King Kongalicious, she gonna forget all about that snow bunny. Oh yes. I'm gonna get that little sexy Haitian. Oh yes.
This dude is wild. Ultimately, I think that men should go where they celebrate it and not necessarily where they tolerate it. Honestly. I think that guys should go where they celebrate it and not where they tolerate it. Y'all do know that it's a large majority of guys that are raised in environments that's not predominantly black. Y'all know that, right? But y'all still holding them to the same standards that you have? Let me read these super chats and then we're going to continue with the show because I want to talk about something specifically that I've seen come across my timeline. Aaron says he'd be skiing on the Swiss Alps for $1 million. Slim Tebow says Margot Robbie is the only milk I'm swimming in. No, I think y'all swimming in a lot of other milk. Y'all go over there to LA. It's some snow bunnies out there that's gonna make y'all melt. Executive Suite MLE says Bronny, star athlete, goes to an affluent high school with majority white kids. Lil Keisha, don't go there. What do you think his options are? It's that simple. I don't even care what Bronny did because Bronny is out here balling and living his life. He ain't tripping off of none of that. Mr. Hillel says, I have a black son. His mother is black. However, we are not together due to religious belief. And yes, it is a stain, even though we Yes, it is a stain, even though we on good terms. He said, you got a black son. His mother is black. However, we are not together due to religious beliefs. Mr. Hillel, you didn't know that y'all had differences in religious beliefs before y'all had sex and you had a kid? I'm just saying, let's just be honest. Like, I don't understand. Y'all didn't know that y'all had a difference in religious beliefs before y'all decided that y'all wanted to have a child? That's wild to me. Anyway, shout out to you. Thank you for the fireball. Speeds the Bee says, most YouTubers who tell people how to live are misleading the masses. Their real life is far from what they preach. Keep up the good work, big dog. I appreciate you, Speeds the Beast, and thank you for holding me down. Thomas Collier says, me with a white chick is better than the good doctor. He'd lead with his education, just like most of my sisters. His education ain't leading to money. Levite Apparel says, Anton don't hate. He segregated the white hair. Messy mathematician. Shout out to the messy mathematician. You looking pretty. She says, no, black men dyeing the gray out of their beard should be a crime against humanity. Let that gray, Anton. Silver Fox fan. Oh, my God. I can't be out here Silver Fox, and I'm not ready. I'm going to just be honest with you, with your pretty self, you messy mathematician. I'm not ready. I'm just not ready yet. I'm honestly, I'm not ready. I'm not built for it yet. I'm not built for it yet. I'm not built for a messy mathematician. Y'all don't want this silver. Y'all don't want this silver. Oh, God. Let me see what Rita talking about.
Hello.
Hey, what up? What you doing? I'm on a live stream.
I'm getting a pedicure.
Getting a petty?
Yeah.
You getting a mani-pedi? Or just a petty?
No,
just a petty?
just a petty, yeah.
I got a question for you.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
It ain't even that deep.
All right,
We're not going to be talking about whether I got head or none of that other type of stuff today. We just
going
going
to... up on me, so I'm scared today. Go ahead.
You ain't got to be scared. Do what you do. Do you want me to, how you want my beard to be gray or you want it to be black?
I want it to be black right now.
Why is that?
I just like it black. Gray is for a little down the line, a little later.
All right. I'm with it. I'm with the black. Not that it matters because I'm going to do what I want to do anyway, but I just wanted to get your opinion.
Yeah, I prefer that black.
All right. I'm out. Peace. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for the gray. I'm not. I know y'all like the silver foxes and all of that. Look at all of this. Look at all of that gray. Look. It's too much. Too much. My beard actually come all the way down here. See that? See it all come all the way down here? I've been brushing it a lot lately. It's too much gray. See all of that gray? I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Go gray or go home. I'm putting that on a t-shirt. That's because you got that gray in your beard. Oh, man. Joey 85 says them earth hippie type chicks got some fire box. You know what I mean? You've been married too long, my guy. Hit different now. Man, let me tell you something. Y'all will bust down anything. I know who y'all are. I know y'all type. I know y'all
I know y'all type. Y'all will bust down anything. Look at Quentin being petty. Said, you didn't tell Rita love you too. We don't do that. We don't do that. You know why we don't do that? I'm going to tell you why we don't do that. This is a lesson for y'all. And this ain't even Wednesday night. Wednesday night, I talk about relationships on the Anton Daniels channel. All right. But let me tell you why we don't do that. Okay. The reason why we don't do that is because it don't hit the same. If every single time, I'm going to give you all a little bit of a tip before we go into this divorce chat. If every single time somebody says, I love you, you hurry up and say, I love you too, goodbye, mwah, mwah, mwah. It just becomes a formality. It becomes old hat. You take it for granted. It becomes complacent. You don't really mean it. You're just saying it because they said it to you first. And so I've trained my wife to not automatically expect it or to respond to it until she really think about what it is that I'm saying to her. Let me say it again. I've trained my wife to not expect for me to say it back or for her to respond to it when I say it to her until she really takes into consideration when I'm saying it, why I'm saying it, and how it hits, right? Y'all just say stuff because y'all used to seeing it being done, right? So what we do is I may put in the right, let me tell you how I trained her, because you got to continue to groom and train your chick, okay? I may say, hey, listen, come here for a minute. And she'll come in and I'll hold her and then I'll kiss her on the back of her neck and then I'll whisper in her ear and I'll say, well, not whisper, I'll just talk real low in her ear and I'll say, you know I love you, right? And then at first she was like, I know I love you. And I stopped her. I said, hold on. I don't want you to say it back because I don't want you to just have this as a formality. I want you to really hear what I'm saying. And I explained it to her. And this is every single time I tell her I love her. I say, listen, I love everything about you. And more than just sex. And then she'll laugh and she'll be like, whatever, blah, 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 right? And I say, listen, I love every single aspect of your body. And then I start describing the little intricate pieces or the little intricate spots of her body and where her birthmark is and where my name is tattooed on her and all of this other type of stuff. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Right? And then I rub the back of her neck and then I kiss her on her behind her ear again. And then I tell her how much I love this aspect of her and the fact that I know that she loves me even more without her saying it because she loves my daughter and she ensures that my daughter is a reflection of what it is that I advocate for them. And I show my love often at times, but I don't necessarily say it out loud because love for me is what it is that I do for you. I want to make sure that y'all got the best. You know, I got to make sure that I provide for you. I got to give you everything you need in order to be successful. I love you. And the way I'm going to show you I'm going to love you is how well I take care of your mother. And I explain this to her. And then at the end of it, I say, listen, and I mean it. I don't want you to say it back to me, but I want you to think about why you love me. And when you're ready, tell me you love me also. And so now we've conditioned ourselves to not just automatically respond and say, I love you too, bye, but that when we finally say it to each other is meaningful because we know that we love each other, but it hit different when you wind up communicating it to each other. And see, this is the difference between being married or in a relationship and being successfully married. You don't start the game until you get married. You don't start the game. You don't start really dating until you get married. Marriage is not for you to get complacent and comfortable. Marriage is for it to start becoming exciting and fulfilling. I'm going to say it one more time. Marriage is not for you to get complacent and comfortable. It's for you to start the game, exciting and fulfilling, the dating process. And if you're not calming her down and communicating her and paying attention to her body language and then responding accordingly and then showing her and teaching her how to do that thing too, then you're missing out. You're absolutely missing out. So let me go ahead and get into this because right now we are in what we call divorce season. And usually when it starts to get warm outside, people start to get a wandering eye. they're more likely to get divorced because when it's cold outside or it's a pandemic, people want to get cozy and comfortable. So this is what we call divorce season. And I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it online. For some reason, my algorithm is starting to show a lot of this different type of stuff. And so I decided to go ahead and use this as an opportunity to relate it back to the money and the opportunities that we then present ourselves with. And Megan here on Being Simone's platform talked about the experiences that led her to the divorce. So make sure that y'all look at this, or I'm sorry, y'all subscribe, hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. Let's get it popping, ladies and gentlemen.
It's always interesting because when you're divorced, that's like when you announce I'm divorced or whatever, like people think that like that's when it started. Do you know what I mean? So like when you move on, it's like, damn, so you just got divorced. It's
baby,
like,
I've been divorced spiritually and in my mind for
we have been
a
divorced,
year, 2 years,
from each other
for a very long time. It's just legally done now.
It's just legally done. So now
that is a
you know
good
what I mean?
Ass point.
But like sometimes it. You know,
it's like when it's legally done, y'all just made the decision yesterday.
Yeah, it's like, do you know how long of a process? First of all, not even just the legal that I could do a whole thing about that. Not even just that. The mental strength that you have to even come to that decision.
Lord,
when I was moving the last couple of days, I was like, I get it.
As much as I would like to disagree with her right about now, that seems to be the sentiment amongst a lot of people that are breaking up and getting divorced. Is that, and this is just really a reality check. This is common sense that whatever it is that you finalize, you didn't just start doing that when you start to go through the process. Like whatever it is, even when it comes to a relationship, right? When you get with somebody, you've already been with them. By the time that y'all actually have sex, or by the time that, and I'm not talking about no fly-by-night, one-night stand, I just bust her down and ghosted her type of stuff. I'm talking about a relationship. By the time y'all actually go through the formality of living together or being official, or you start thinking about the possibility of marriage, y'all have actually been dating and been together. It's the conversations, it's the interactions, it's the recalling of what it is that you guys talked about before you even realized that you liked each other, that then made you a perfect fit and equally yoked in the first place. And it's the same on the opposite end. By the time that most people actually get to the spaces, which is one of the reasons why I got to shoot women a little bit of bail right here, right? Because I know that we reference the idea that women often are the times that file or go through the formality of filing for the divorce, but the actual disillusion of their marriage and the dissolving of their marriage has happened long before any kind of paperwork has ever happened. And so when you have these conversations and we actually start to state these stats, we also need to look into the context of how you got there in the first place, because the actual proceeding is just a formality. The divorce happened way before anybody actually started to look at any paperwork and got a lawyer. Right? Even the Bible has said the sin was committed in your mind before you actually implemented it. The sin was already in your mind before you actually went through and did anything whatsoever. You actually committed to it. And on the other side, the equal and opposite side, all you got to do is have the faith of the mustard seed, right? But faith without works is dead, which means that in order to show your faith, you actually have to do something in order to bring whatever that thing is that you believe into fruition. Let's continue. Well, hold on. Let me close this out really quickly.
I get why people stay.
I
get it. I get why you just stay. Not even just the physical work of having to do
emotional,
all the stuff. I get
mental.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get why you stay.
And sit in that and stay in that
just be like,
sorrow.
I'll wait
I'll
until the kids get older.
Lord.
I'll wait till they are 18 and out of the house. And I'll just, because the way I've been living, it's like, if there was no like really force to change We could have stayed like that for
just chilled like that for a couple more years.
We could have stayed like that for 10.
Ooh, no.
That's how fast it go. But I'm saying that's how conditioned you get.
That cycle.
You just like.
Yep.
And it's like one thing.
And it's a strong possibility you probably should have stayed together. The one caveat, and I'm only taking this into consideration because of modern times and what it is that I see happening in society today. One of the caveats that I think that people can justify going their separate ways is if you don't have kids or you don't have small kids. If your kids are past the age of 18, 20, 21, 22, 23 years old, and y'all have raised y'all kids, or if y'all never actually had kids, I don't really care what y'all do. Because whatever it is that you do is not going to affect anybody outside of you. The decisions that y'all make together, it will not be affected. Now, obviously, the conversations change a little bit when you're talking about assets and resources. However, I don't care outside of that unless you have small children. If you got kids, you got small children, you need to stick it out. You need to stick it out. Now, I know it's going to be some people in the chat that say, well, what about if he whooping on me? Whoop that trick. Get him. Whoop that trick. Let me get my theme music. Let me get my theme music popping off. Hold on. I wonder if I could play this out loud. Hold on. Where the soundtrack to this at? Where the full album? What's the name of the Whoop That Trick song? I gotta find that. Is this the album right here? Albums. It's a single. All right, let's continue.
And then I'm like learning. I'm like, I know that I'm nowhere near like ready to be a wife again. But I know that when that time comes, I'm gonna.
Here's my question though. If you're not ready to be a wife, my question then becomes, are you dating? If you are not ready to be a wife, and I'm not speaking towards her specifically, but she's the one that's talking this. If you are not ready to be a wife, I'm wondering if y'all are dating, having sex, or in a relationship. That's the caveat. That's the thing.
Be so great at it. I'm going to be so much better at it because I get it now.
Somebody said Anton,
I'm like, don't.
Somebody said Anton need a stream deck. That's literally what I have right now is a stream deck. That's literally what I have right here is a stream deck. I have a stream deck, okay? That's literally what I use to hotkey. I don't want to give y'all too much game of what it is that I got my setup running over here, but let's continue.
Ever, if you guys are in any just relationships with anyone, I'm learning this. Like, don't ever treat the person as common. Like, never do that. Familiarity breeds contempt. Like, don't ever get too familiar. Where you lose sight. Of the wonder of that person. You know what I mean? Like, you get so used to them that they no longer excite you, or you're no longer curious, or
or
hold on, we gotta add that in there.
Care about like who they are and who they're changing into, who they're evolving into, trying to find out who that person is.
And just in little ways, like make like I know for me, like I think something that I would really like a boundary or a not a non-negotiable, but like this is our standard is like we go to bed together.
I love that.
Like I don't want to go to bed before you or after you.
I love that.
I want to go to bed together.
I love that.
I want to be.
Let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. This is called fairy tale land. Okay? And let me tell you why this is called fairy tale land.
Or you're no longer curious.
This is what it's called fairy tale land. And so if you would go through this video and you look in the comments, you see women selling each other a dream. When we first got married, right? And you get through what we like to call the honeymoon phase, and you actually get into the real of the marriage itself. And then, I get to the point to where I say, yeah, listen, it's grind time. So now I'm working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week or whatever like that. And I'm going to get that bag, right? Let me help y'all to understand something. It's different. I mean, it's 100% different. And so the thing that women project themselves to be in versus the reality is different. Because you want a guy that's rich, but you only want him to work 40 hours and then to be there when it's time for y'all to go to bed together. You want him to be there at the dinner table. Listen, I have a busy schedule on this Tuesday. I'm back in the office, whatever, so on and so forth. I am not going to be home for dinner. I'm not going to be there for supper. Women going to have to make up their minds of what they want. You want success, you want provision and protection, you want a rich guy, you don't want to date down, you want a guy that makes just as much money as you and all of that. Cool. I think that everybody should be able to have their preferences. I'm going to be reading super chats shortly. Thank you, Jazz Wizman. But that comes with something else. It comes with a dude that is on a plane on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It comes with a person that got to put that time in. It comes with him being in the office. It comes with so many different things. Now, my wife decided that she didn't want to go and live a regular life. And so she was unwilling to, go and get a job or anything like that once we have fulfilled our obligations as far as our child going to school full time and everything like that. So she said, listen, I'd rather just be here and work for you. So now she became a part of my payroll and under my covering. And so she travels with me and she works for me and she still lives that life, right? But my point is that you can't have your cake and eat it too. What do you want? You want him home every night at a specific time in order to please you? In order to get to bed at a certain time? Because it's okay for you to have what for you to ask for what you want. But it comes with a level of sacrifice. And most people are not built to be in the type of relationships that they say that they want. Most people. The most important financial decision that you ever gonna make in your entire life, and I've told you guys this before, the most important decision that you're ever going to make from a financial perspective is the person that you lay next to, which is one of the reasons why I can't fathom and I can't understand for the life of me how y'all feel comfortable going to sleep next to and laying down with somebody that you don't even fully know or trust in your household. I just read a story about a chick that finessed the dude and took all of his jewelry and all of his stuff out of his safe after she basically roofied him because he took her home to his crib down in Miami. I read stories that junk come across my timeline on a regular basis. If the most important decision that you ever gonna make in your entire life is the person that you lay next to every day, whether you with him or not, whether you married to him or not, or whether you gonna be in a relationship or not, then how do y'all just take it so lightly?
Or care about like who they are and who they're changing into, who they're evolving into, trying to find out who that person is.
And just in little ways, like make things, like I know for me, like I think something that I would really like like boundary or not a non-negotiable, but like this is our standard is like we go to bed together.
I love that.
Like I don't want to go to bed before you or after you.
I love that.
I want to go to bed together.
Well, guess what? I usually sleep for like 4 hours a day tops some days, unless it's the weekends. You built for that? You really not built for that. Your body not built for that. You're not built for that.
I want to be in bed together. I don't want, another thing is like, I don't want to eat alone.
Like we eat dinner
together.
time, family time. Yeah, I love that.
Like just little things, because you realize how, like when I look over my life, you realize how the busyness of life can happen.
And you start to do a lot of things separately.
My ex said to me, and it broke my heart. Like regardless of how he was to me and what we experienced, he experienced this, and I was like,
are y'all hearing this fairy tale, Disneyland fairy tale that we listening to right now? Just curious if y'all hearing it the same way that I'm hearing it.
Wow, that broke my heart. Because he was like, you would cook a meal for us and you would feed us and you would go to your office.
Wow.
And I never knew.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like I never knew that bothered him.
Wow.
And I'm thinking like, you guys are good.
I cooked. I did my job.
Yeah, like.
Ooh-wee.
And I didn't think you guys wanted me here anyway. You know, I thought you just wanted me to cook.
Oh.
You know?
And I bet you every single woman that was watching this, maybe I'm just a savage. Maybe, honestly, maybe I'm just a savage. Maybe I have no kind of emotion, no kind of feeling. My ability to be able to really resonate. Maybe I'm just like, I just don't have that in me. Even people throughout my life sometimes, they said, Anton, you too hard. You too hard. I don't have it in me. I'm not going out of my way to get home at a specific time in order to make sure that you accommodate it. I don't have that in me. Family Day is Sunday. Sunday is a day, if I'm not traveling back and forth, that I allot for us to be able to spend time with each other in order to ensure that we bond as a family. Monday through Friday and sometimes Saturday, I am busy. And I am busy showing you I love you by ensuring that you are provided for and you have everything that you need in order to continue to be successful, so that my daughter does not have to ask Joe Biden for a student loan forgiveness. That is love. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how you feel. We are so weak and coddled. Man, don't you know that men of yesteryear used to be gone for months at a time? They would be at war. They would be off on some kind of ship. They will be taking care of business. They will be out hunting and gathering and all of this other type of stuff. You think that they was worried about being home at night in order to make sure that you are comforted and fed? No, marriage was a sense of duty. It wasn't a sense of feeling. I don't think that y'all understand what marriage is. Oh man, Wednesday is going to be lit. Wednesday is going to be lit. I don't think that y'all understand what marriage is. Do y'all actually understand what marriage is? Do y'all understand what marriage is? I'm trying to hold back. I'm trying to hold back because I know the subject that I want to broach. I don't know what I'm going to say until I say it. And so I'm trying to hold back. But marriage is something different than what y'all think it is. And if I have to teach a masterclass on fucking marriage on Wednesday, I will. Tell your friends and family. I'm going to teach a class on Wednesday on what marriage is.
Oh,
yeah. And I'm going to give you the real. Not none of this right here. I'm going to give you the real on what marriage really is and what it takes to be successfully married. We going to get there.
And I don't know why that made me so.
She looked like she should have stayed in her relationship. I don't know what she went through, but she looked like she should have worked it out. If you crying over, you should have worked it out, baby.
Yeah.
Like, God,
yeah.
I wish I knew.
Yeah.
I wish I had a standard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think, and for a man too, but like I wish he would have set the standard.
Yeah,
I wish
sure.
he would have been like,
this is what we're doing
gonna
as a
eat
family at the table.
Yeah, come eat. Like, what are you
with
doing?
Your children and your husband.
Yeah, but I thought because I did
that,
I did my job. You wanted me to cook?
But it's like I wanted you there too.
Yeah. Like he was like, you won't even eat. You would just make this really nice meal, and then like you would go to your office.
Wow.
And I didn't even know.
Wow.
That was an effect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So just setting a standard of like, and then that it eliminates the possibility of hurt on both sides. Because I didn't feel like they ever really cared if I was at the table or not.
And that still hurts.
And that didn't feel the best. But I always thought too, it's like, well, they're boys and I'm a girl, and
you know, let me tell y'all what my grandma used to tell us. And this was a church thing, but it extended over into your regular life. My grandma used to say, down with self, up with God. Down with self, up with God. And the symbolism behind that was based off of the idea that people are so much in self that they're always looking to feel something instead of getting down to the reality of what it is. Come on, man. There's no reason in the world. And we create these little mini movies in our head that we're the star, the director, the producer, the creator, the actor inside of this movie. And we make these little mini movies in our head. And we say, well, I didn't think you guys really even loved me. And I don't think you guys ever even wanted me. And I didn't know that you guys even love what I had to go on because y'all are boys and I'm a girl and all of this other type of stuff. And the reality is that most things in a relationship could be solved if you just open up your mouth and you stop being in self. Open up your mouth and stop being in self. But instead, they'll hold it all in, and then this eventually will be coming out on some kind of podcast episode instead of this thing being a thing that she should have opened up her mouth and conveyed and communicated during her relationship.
You know, I always felt kind of like I'm so happy I have my family, but I'm the only girl. Nobody gets me.
Yeah.
Like they're all talking about stuff that I don't care about.
Yeah.
And they don't care about the stuff I care about. You know, or there's not when you're raising boys, you don't really have a soft moment because you're raising boys, so you have to be kind of like you know, a boy mom, you know, but you, even though you're the queen in your home, but it's this, for example, when queens in movies, when they have boys
and movies, keyword in movies,
the queen is more like she's respected, but she's tough.
Like, this is what you have to do.
But when that queen has girls, she's dainty and she's this and she's that. Well, I'm not.
You never had that opportunity.
I didn't have that like soft because I have boys and, you know, so anyway.
I always be like, I think you're going to have a girl.
I hope I have a girl. I think it would soften me a little bit.
Oh my God.
But I think that I just,
I'm muted. I was saying, oh man, maybe that was the Lord's work. Maybe it was the Lord's work that I was muted. Maybe it was the Lord's work that I was muted because I was saying some egregious stuff. Look at Rita calling me to tell me I was muted. I was saying some egregious shit. She want to have some more kids. She want to have some more kids. She trying to get her a step baby daddy. She trying to get her a step baby daddy, y'all. A step baby daddy. That's unacceptable. That is absolutely unacceptable. So she left her relationship because things wasn't going as she wanted them to go. And then now some other guy, she's sitting here talking about, I hope I have a girl. Because some other guy is supposed to sign up in order to be a step baby daddy. I can't even say the stuff that I was saying prior to that. God work in mysterious ways. He said, Anton, you can't say that on mic. You can't say that on the mic. So somebody else is supposed to marry her and give her another kid and also be a step baby daddy on top of it. Yo, what is up with this step baby daddy culture? What is up with step baby mama, step baby daddy culture? Just curious. Why do we feel like that it makes sense in order to be step baby mamas or step baby daddies? I can't figure it out for the life of me. I don't understand it. Why does this make sense? This is wild to me. Who's signing up for this? She cute, but she ain't that cute. She cute, but she ain't that cute. It ain't enough money in the world that you can give me in order to make me a step baby daddy. That's a hard sell. That's a hard sell, fam.
Just want to have, I think I want to do better, and that showed me that in relationships I want to be better
setting
at
that standard
of being like, yeah, I want us to, like when I was talking about, we talked about this a while ago, but I was like, I think we should have Sunday dinners. Like, I think that should be a thing. Like, as a community.
Then go back to be with y'all.
Everybody should have
together.
Sunday dinner. I feel like when I grew up, I saw that in my communities, and it made the community strong. Yeah. It made your family strong. It made the people that you did life with, it made you a strong unit by just having that one day out of the week where it's like, this is our, we come together and we, commune together. But just having I think if I were to say that, it might help me not expect anything else because I have my thing. Yep. So I can go all week looking forward to that.
All right. We got enough co-signing. I'm burnt out on this conversation. It's only so much that I could take. So shout out to her for the conversation. I did find a video that I wanted to share with y'all. Actually, I'm not going to show that one. I'm not going to show it today. I'm going to save it for Wednesday. That's a hard sell. That is absolutely a hard sell. I don't think that any man should ever sign up in order to be a step baby daddy. The most important decision that you ever gonna make in your lifetime is who the person that you lay next to. And we got to get out of our feelings and emotions and understand that we have a sense of duty, which is love. Okay? Jesus didn't die for our sins because he felt some type of way about us. He died for our sins. And it was an action behind it, not a feeling. It wasn't about a feeling. It was an action. That's how he showed his love. God loved us so much that he gave his only begotten son to die on the cross next to people that actually wasn't even worthy of standing next to him. And then he called us his friends. That's love. It's an action word. It's literally an action word. Love is an action word. Even the Bible, people always say stuff to me like, well, God loved all of us and all of this other type of stuff, right? And that, he's going to take care of all of us. The entire scripture is an if-then statement. I know a lot of y'all don't understand if-then statements because you wasn't paying attention to school. You never went to math class and you're not a software engineer, right? If-then statements are very, very basic. You don't complete it unless you fulfill whatever it is in that prior if. If you do my will, then you will be successful. If you suffer with me, then you will reign with me. If you love me, then you will do my will. If you do this, then you will have the kingdom of God. If you suffer with me, right? Everything in the word of God is an if-then statement. He did not say, as a matter of fact, what he did say is he said, it's a lot of people that's going to cast out demons and devils in my name, and they're going to say, Lord, Lord, and I'm going to say, depart from me. I never knew you. Which is basically a reflection of how it is that we're supposed to live our lives, including in our relationships. It's an if-then statement. You don't get to feel when you have a sense of duty. It's called being an adult. You don't get credit for taking care of your kids. You don't get credit for sticking in your marriage. Those are the vows that you took. If you didn't want to be in a marriage, then you should have chose better. If you didn't want to be in this relationship, then you should not have said, till death do us part. We're going to save it for Wednesday because I got a I got a lot of thoughts that I've been gathering that I need to get out. But let me read some of these super chats and see what y'all was talking about out here in these streets. Whoopi Rock is in the building, says, that's how wisdom look, Anton. Y'all talking about my grades on my chinny chin chin. I don't know, Whoopi Rock. Quentin said, did you cup her booty when you kissed her? No, I had her sitting on my lap. I was holding her waist. What I found is that the less that you caress, by the time that you get there in the foreplay, just electrifies them. It's a whole nother thing. Shout out to James Davies is in the building with the one ball. I appreciate you, big dog. Got to acknowledge all of my 1 ball, 2 balls, 3 balls, 4. Pause. Quentin gonna say some wild shit as a result of that. Blake, or is it Black Neo 1 Gibb, says, my only problem is all these women make it seem like they had the worst marriage in history. People just too quick to switch up. That's 5 years of turmoil to something that's supposed to last 50 years. People don't have the endurance, and that's why most people ain't even successful when it comes to content creation. They don't have the endurance in order to get to the other side of the coin. The Scepter of Judah says, peace, King Bag Chaser here. Shout out to my bag chasers. I would love to be on your show Friday to talk about Umar's take and Jimmy Butler's childhood. His mother abandoned him. You guys are more than welcome to cam up on Friday. You know that I do the show where I have people call in and say what it is that they want to say. Shout out to the Scepter of Judah for contributing to the platform. Jazz Winsman says, if a man or if a woman or a man is beating their partner or cheating, he or she should not stay for the children. The children at some point will realize the relationship is messed up and have trauma from that. That can be debated also, but we're going to get into that on Wednesday and then maybe Friday. Shout out to Jazz Wizman with the 10 ball. I appreciate you. Captain DDR says, I just joined the Bag Chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Thank you, Mr. Anton Daniels, for all that you do. Continue to do. I'm super excited and ready to level up. Hashtag salute. Shout out to Captain DR. Hey, can we get a round of applause in the chat for all of the new bag chasers and all of the people that continue to rock out with us? I'm going to be meeting up with y'all in New York. I'm doing a series where I'm going to be investing in y'all businesses. I got videos dropping this week. We got a lot of great things coming. Shout out to you. Let me get my dog. Pro Brill says, thanks for the wisdom. Thank you for continuing to contribute to the platform. I don't ask for super chats, but I definitely appreciate y'all and everything that y'all doing rocking out with me. Listen, this week, we turning up the heat. From here on out, we turning up the heat this week. So if y'all ready for a monster show, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all get y'all Teach Pack, 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. And I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. I adore you. You are my heart. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace. Let me give a shout out to Sly. Sly Train in Miami says, trying to buy a clone so one of me can be home and the other one is at work. I got to get to the bag. Shout out to Sly Train in Miami. I appreciate you for holding me down, big dog.